Act 1, Take 1, Action. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Post Production. We just watched The Odyssey, and my goodness, that was fantastic. 5 out of 5 for me. Spoiler alert, that's my rating. But into the brief synopsis. So you have Odysseus. He has just won the Trojan War with his fellow troops, and he now has to lead a voyage home through many obstacles, encounters many problems along the way that prevent him from getting home in a timely manner. And the entire story is just what he encounters and how long it takes him to get home and what unfolds once he finally does find his way back to Ithaca. All right, so mainly keeping the brief synopsis the most brief it can be because my God, that was so good. Have to say, my first thing, it's just advice to everyone: don't see this in a random theater. You're not doing it justice by any means. You need to see this in IMAX. You cannot just do what we did, as good as it was. You cannot just do what we did and just go down the street to the local Regal and see it on a really small screen in comparison to an IMAX one. Because, like, all of his movies are meant to be seen in IMAX, but this one is just more so than any of the other ones that he's ever came out with, in my opinion. You gotta see it in IMAX.
Yeah, you need to see this on the biggest screen possible.
For
the
sure.
best sound system you can possibly listen to it with. There's so many things. The movie, like, we saw it in a Regal theater,
Yep.
and it was fantastic.
Yep.
But if you saw it in like a premium theater, it would just enhance the experience.
Yeah.
Immensely.
If you can't do it, that's all right. But, like, you gotta prioritize that. That's rule number one. Rule number two: I'm sick and tired of the people saying, like, this is, oh, the interpretation is whatever, this is ridiculous. It's like that. After seeing it,
Yeah.
everybody needs to shut the hell up because that was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
easily the best movie of the year.
For sure. Everyone and their mother was in it. Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, John Leguizamo, John Bernthal, Anne Hathaway, like Mia Goth, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron, and everybody just did so well. Elliot Page was fantastic in that scene with the Hades thing.
Yeah.
But okay, that I think we should go in chronological order. Like,
yeah, all right, let's start from the beginning.
So the beginning, it's fragmented storytelling. You don't really, like, start at the very beginning of anything. It's like bits and pieces along the way that you're putting together.
Okay, that's my only problem with the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I
was confused in the beginning, and like the very beginning of the movie, it's like him on the island, and then it's back to him in Ithaca, and then it's back to him at the Battle of Troy, and I was like, oh man, this movie's gonna be jumping around a ton. But it's like, it's really like the first 20 minutes, maybe not even 20 minutes, maybe like 15 minutes, and he's with Calypso, who's played by Charlize Theron, and she's like, tell me what you remember, and then the story begins, and then you get longer segments of his journey home, and then that just fixed it for me.
So I was also thinking the same thing, and what fixed it for me was him going to see John Bernthal's character. When John Bernthal tells his, like, side of the Trojan War, that's when I was like, okay, now I'm like, because at first it was like, okay, the bits and pieces, I'm not really lining them up together. What like preceded what?
Menelaus, was that his name?
Yeah, something like that. Started with an M. All the names were really hard to understand. Honestly, not even because they're hard to understand, but because, like, it's kind of hard to hear the dialogue at times.
Yeah, dude.
It was very hard. And I don't know, since we started out with this, I don't know if that was because we were in a shitty theater in comparison to an IMAX.
That's what I was thinking.
But I don't know.
But I feel like Christopher Nolan's movies, I've always had audio issues with. Like Tenet, yeah. I think it's hard to understand. This movie was hard to understand, but I don't know if it was the theater or just him.
Yeah, but I feel like that is rather a pretty small, like, problem that I had with it. I was able to understand what they were saying.
For the most part.
Yeah, but it would have been better, the sound mixing in general, especially for, like, later scenes that were more intense, if we were in a much, bigger theater. But okay, so the fragmented story, I was eventually a fan of. I think that the part with the Cyclops, I just had a problem with that one the most because the Cyclops does have a name. They don't really say it, and he is actually supposed to be the story in the story the son of Poseidon. They do upset Poseidon,
Yeah.
and that's what influences the later events. They realized that he could talk, but I thought that he would have some sort of conversation with them because that's what it's supposed to be. Like it's Zeus's law, offer the hospitality. I think in the story, like they try to pitch that to him, and that's when he's like no, and traps them and starts eating them, and then of course Odysseus being able to escape with the sheep. That's
The
like
only thing I remember from like the actual book was that like they get rid of his eye,
mhm,
and then he starts crying and he's like, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm nobody." So that when the other Cyclops
yeah,
show up and they ask him what happened, he's like,
right.
"It was nobody."
Mhm.
So they think he's like
I do.
nuts.
I do remember. I am
That's
remembering that now.
the only thing I remember. But like in the movie, they thought he was a monster. I couldn't make out any words he was saying
Yeah,
with the audio.
that I don't think was the theater. I think we weren't supposed to hear or
Yeah,
really make out what
maybe.
he was saying because they once again they don't even talk to him, and they're like, "Should we reason with him?" It's like we're past that. Like,
Yeah.
we cannot do that.
Oh, but dude, speaking of that scene, the echo, the reverb
Yeah,
of them talking,
yeah, that was cool.
it was like you were in the cave with them.
Right. Plus, where the hell did they find that fucking place when they were filming?
That's a famous cave in
Really?
Greece. I think so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, because isn't I mean, well, of course,
I
he
don't know if it's in Greece, but I know it's a famous cave.
because the island is of Sicily, where the Cyclops technically is. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure.
Oh, I remember the cave. The cave is supposedly where Zeus was born. That's
Okay,
like the myth behind it.
gotcha, gotcha. Well, I did like the look of the Cyclops.
Yeah.
The fucking gigantic puppet that they had. They must have done a lot in post production to make it look more lifelike. But the thing that they did have that with like they had pictures of looked fucking insane.
Okay, so was it a puppet?
It was a puppet, but obviously
Because I was
he needed a little CGI touch ups to make that thing
well,
look
that's the
more.
thing. That's what I was thinking. Because
That's my guess.
I was coming in thinking that it was a puppet, but I was like, man, this looks really real.
Yep.
And then you get like close ups of his skin, so I thought maybe this is just a dude in a skin suit or something.
It's the same puppeteer who worked on Interstellar to do like TARS.
Mm-hmm.
I did think they nailed that. It was just a little odd that there was no exchange between the Cyclops and Odysseus
Mm-hmm.
because they kind of were just like chilling in there and like waiting out the night.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he's just curled up into a ball having a snooze.
So they're in
He
there,
could
and
have just killed all of them.
I'm assuming they were in there for a few days
Oh yeah,
because
they were in there for a bit.
yeah, because did he let did they let men out and then Odysseus jumped back in because
That's
there were
what
still men in there, and like that's the fragmentation part that I was confused with. I didn't know if he was running scenarios through his head of
I
what happened because the very next shot after him jumping back in the cave, they're sitting by the fire and the Cyclops is sleeping.
I was also confused by that because, like you're saying, when it seems like they're like free, he jumps right back into the cave.
Yeah.
It just like that segment was hard to follow. It was like, well, like why is this being drawn out in the way that it is? I
Mm-hmm.
would have liked it to be long and maybe obviously dialogue between the Cyclops and Odysseus and just an actual exchange of some kind rather than him just mumbling some words to himself with his back to them. And then when they're leaving, they finally make it out. Like he says on the boat, "Oh, that guy killed our men," but you know damn well your fucking bow and arrows not doing anything to that
Yeah.
thing, and they're scot free, and he shoots them in the face.
Yeah, and then they lose more.
And the guy's like, "What are you doing?" And then they
Yeah.
get on the ship, and he says, "Why did you have to shoot him? Like, what was the point of the shot?" And he's like, "That thing killed our men." It's like, okay, that thing that act did nothing for us, so that was a little ridiculous. Didn't think that was
Yeah, there were several parts um where Odysseus just did something so stupid that I would not do.
and I think that was like, you know, him doing what he did to Troy kind of made him turn his back on the gods. Like he was going rogue. He was being ridiculous.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, he was trying to fight like prophecy and fate.
Yeah, and like him making it home was him like redeeming himself basically. Because yeah, he was this like evil guy. Like Sinon had no idea that they were in the friggin' Trojan horse.
How?
I don't know.
He had to have known.
He kept saying it was to make him believe. So to literally say to the people of Troy or the soldiers, like, this is a gift from Athena. But again, kind of weird there, where I was like, I don't know, like how they were able to build that whole thing and then hide in it and then have one person not know. I don't know how that made any sense. But then again, it wasn't everybody because, they stormed in later on. And then he explicitly said that he was defying the gods. He upset Poseidon. So it was just, yeah, he was just doing constant, like,
He was really selfish
yeah.
in the beginning of the movie, and that's why they turned their backs on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like they, okay, so
He was like, is this a mutiny? And they're like, is that
yeah,
up to you?
yeah. They said we want you to stay behind. It's because he just kept doing things that would get the men killed, and like they're all noticing. They're having conversations on the boat when he's like on the other side of it. What happens next? They pull up to the giants.
Right. I forget what they were called, if
I
they
don't
even
even.
mentioned the name of them. But you're right. They encountered them next.
And the forest was
That
shifting.
was sick. That was so cool. Because I was when they first had the people like run into the trees, I was like, this is dumb. Like what are they doing? They have so much time to just turn around and run away.
Yeah.
Then the trees are moving and they're
Okay.
like actually trapping them so they can just fucking knife them.
Yeah,
through.
there was one part where it looked like they ran into a cage, but it was just like sticks hanging.
Yep.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that
Was that the
specific
same thing I'm
part.
talking about? Like
Yeah,
the first.
it's the same thing. It's like when you first realize that the trees are moving, but to me it just looked like sticks hanging from a tree and then like a cage kind of closing in on them. But I think it was supposed to, because there's a better shot of it right after that where the trees are actually shifting in front
Yep.
of Odysseus's eyes.
Yep.
So I think that's what it was supposed to be.
That caught me off guard because I thought that they were doing that with the camera to show that he had no idea how to get
Yeah.
out of the forest. But then eventually they were right by the shore.
Yeah, they were there. They're on that island for like 15 minutes.
Those giants were sick. Their armor was cool.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to be like, these fantasy creatures. They were supposed to just be big, tall fucking people, but they looked like they were,
like ogres.
Yeah, they looked like they were just these gigantic orcs.
Yeah,
basically.
that's a good word.
And it was like it was so cool seeing them come over the horizon, and it was creepy as shit when the first encounter is with a kid, and the
But
kid's
it's a
like
tall-
6'5".
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tall kid, but it's like a child's face.
Yeah, it's like a baby basically. Well, not a baby, like a it'd be like a 6-year-old basically
Yeah.
on a full grown man's body. And then it's like, if that's a kid, what do the parents look like? And here come the 9-foot tall behemoths. That was really cool.
Yep, 2 entire ships got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's more men.
They were so big that they literally, like, it was,
They were punching the boats.
it was like a cartoon basically. They were just punching the boat and knifing the boat, and it was just breaking. That's how
apart.
big and fucking strong they were.
Yeah.
And they literally just fucking murdered them. I thought that they were just gonna take them. But that was one of the highlights. I felt like that was so crazy. The cinematography in that scene and the whole movie was insane. But that scene was just had me on the edge of my seat for sure. But what was really fucking scary, and I honestly think this is another little problem that I had. This movie could have been a little bit darker. It like the tone was not as dark as I thought it was gonna be, and it was still creepy as shit. It did like really bring me in to like thinking this was, in ancient times. But it could have been a little darker, I thought, until we got to the witch. That shit was fucking scary.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. It was the body horror element to that was so fucking frightening. Because my first thought was, is this what his interpretation of the fucking sirens is gonna be? It was like they just getting lured onto this island, but then it wasn't. It was just this crazy witch that I didn't even know was a part of Odysseus' story. And just, oh my god, them morphing into pigs.
But yeah, but she was molding them by hand.
Yeah.
Like grabbing their face and stretching out parts of it, and then ripping their hair off.
It was so gross.
It wasn't like gory, but it was enough that you could see what was going on. Like you could see the faces stretching because she was pulling on it, and it was very uncomfortable.
Imagine filming that day.
Yeah, what?
It's
How do
like,
you think they
boys,
did it?
boys, we need you to like literally look like you're about to fucking just implode while you're eating meat. They're like, all right,
Oh yeah, they couldn't stop eating.
yeah. They were like not in control, but their emotions. So it's like they were just fucking wolfing down food, but their faces looked like they were being controlled by something else, and
Mhm.
they were fucking crying and they
Yeah,
were
they just kept
petrified.
shoveling food into their mouth, but
Yeah,
they're like crying,
right.
like just
They were like,
they can't
but
stop.
they were like fucking devouring this stew that she made.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what direction that was going because when you see the lion when they're going up the hill, I don't think to myself that's a person, nor
Hmm.
nor the panther or whatever that was, or the deer that Odysseus was eventually hunting. So I had no clue what they were walking into. Like I knew the other things were coming, but when this happened, it was like I had no idea that this was gonna happen, and
Yeah.
it was so fucking creepy. They looked so gross. Him being the guy who loves the practical effects, that's another, like, filming it, I'm making a joke about them being told to act like that, but I don't know what his idea was. Like, I don't know how he did that with the most amount of practical effects.
Yeah. So that was my biggest concern with this movie because I knew there were monsters and like crazy stuff that were gonna appear in this movie, and he likes practicality.
Yeah,
And I was really worried because I told you the other day that I was underwhelmed by the Oppenheimer explosion because that was practical.
which crazy thing. Never seen it.
Yeah, it's insane. Um, but yeah, like he used CGI in this movie for sure, and I'm glad he did because it looked awesome. It didn't look like an MCU movie.
Yep.
Like it looked really good, and it helped the storytelling, I think.
Act 2, take 1, action. Canonically, are the sirens like, are they like creepy looking mermaids, or is that just like what cartoons have taught me?
No, I
Because I was kind of expecting there to be some really scary
I
scene with
think
those
they're
things.
like winged women.
I thought that was going to be a really creepy scene, but it essentially was just, which is, this is part of the story, him being tied to the mast.
Yeah.
I was expecting more of like a really creepy pack of just demon looking mermaids,
Hmm. No, I thought
but maybe that's just me not actually understanding Greek
I don't
mythology.
know. I think they were like beautiful, very tempting,
Yeah.
and but I mean that's what their song does, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's literally just temptation.
yeah, I don't remember how it is in the book. It might be like that, but I mean that makes sense too because like they're tempting you to swim over to
Yeah,
them.
it was effective. It was not what I was expecting, but it was still effective. Like, they looked, it was a very creepy image seeing this, like, what looks like a woman, like a naked fucking woman just on a rock,
Hmm.
but it did have a little element to it where I was like, what is this? This is not really human.
Oh wait, we forgot the hell part.
Oh yeah. So
So right after the witch,
yeah,
they
she
go
tells
to
them about going to
hell.
see Hades,
Yeah,
like the souls of Hades or some
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so he has to sacrifice these lamb so that they can speak to the dead. His men are not supposed to hear the prophecy because they can't handle it.
Yep.
And the prophecy tells him that only Odysseus is making it home.
Yep.
Like, and Odysseus is like he is at war with fate. He doesn't like the gods. He just wants to get home because he just like he is lost right now.
Yep.
Like literally and like metaphorically. Um but yeah, he's just at odds with the gods, and
Thor.
they're like, this is and they're like, this is what's gonna happen, and you can't stop it. So he's just like, watch me, and then we get to the sirens, and then they tell him about the whirlpool. They're like, this is where your men die, and if they slaughter the what is it, Apollo's sheep, they will all die, and you can stop them from doing it, but like you can't say. Oh, wait, What did he say?
It was
You
so
can't
he had
save them
to.
from
He knew that he
themselves.
had to get them to go through the channel,
Yes.
but because like if they knew what was waiting for them in the channel, they wouldn't have gone. And I don't even know what the fuck that was. It was just some like creepy ass looking thing.
The tentacle thing.
Yeah, tentacle thing coming out
Yeah.
of the mountain. But it's also a turning point for Odysseus when they go to that Hades beach thing because he hears Sinon talk and he's just like calling him,
A liar.
yeah, a liar and just making him realize how fucked up he's being. And also a great element too to that is Agamemnon telling him what happened to him when he got home. He didn't disguise himself. He didn't realize that he would not be coming home to open arms. And which led to him being killed by his wife.
Yeah, but he left out the part where he killed his own daughter.
Right.
He sacrificed his daughter so
Right.
that he could win in the Battle of Troy.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Which Odysseus did not do.
Very true. Very true. But yeah, he does tell him though to like
So you know
disguise
who
himself.
played Agamemnon?
Benny
Oh,
Safdie.
wait, you didn't even see Oppenheimer. He was in Oppenheimer.
He directed Smashing Machine, and his brother did Uncut Gems and Marty Supreme. But yeah, he is not. They're not. None of them are good guys, really. But Agamemnon is pretty fucking terrifying. And so he did do something that was much more fucked up. But Odysseus still needed to disguise himself because he was not going to be welcomed with open arms. People were trying to take the throne
Yeah.
and marry his wife. So that was an important thing to hear. That's when he finds out the prophecy. He finds out about which path they need to take once they encounter the whirlpool after the sirens. One little thing with the sirens that I didn't mention when we were briefly talking about it, when the guy takes the wax out of his ears and jumps into the water, that was really eerie. I did not like that. That was really fucking creepy. And then you just do not see him again. Then they go to the one island that has the cattle on it, and it's like that's the sun god's cattle. If you kill any of them, you're all gonna die.
Yep.
So they of course don't listen to him because at this point they're losing trust in him.
Yeah, and they haven't eaten in who knows how long.
Right.
They're out of rations, they said, and they've been at sea for like years.
Yeah. And then they find themselves in a shipwreck that I'm sure probably had to do with them eating the sun god's cattle, and that leads to Odysseus being with Calypso. I really liked, and I guess I'm not really too familiar with the story, but I do know about lotus flowers in Greek mythology. I like those being in it because, like, he was just locked in the moment he was eating one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
He completely forgot about his own life. That is so creepy. That's so fucking insane. Like, he was, for 7 years, he was with her.
Just munching on lotus flowers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. And what, like, one little problem with that, what was her plan? It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep him hostage, and then one day I'll let him free.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why? I thought that there was gonna be some like wild scene where he was finally coming to, and then escaping her island, but she was just like, "Nah, you figured it out. You
Yeah,
can
she was
leave." Like
she was
what?
like, we loved each other.
Like no, you manipulative moron! Like you were making me eat flowers. That's why I stayed. So that was like, I was a little confused.
I don't know. Maybe that was supposed to be like some sort of like therapeutic retreat for him or something. Because she was saying like
Yeah.
you weren't ready to go home, but now you are, and I knew you would be.
So
And, like,
he hadn't fully redeemed himself
Because she
yet.
was saying like, I gave you the lotus flowers so that the pain didn't hurt your mind; it only hurt your body. So like, I don't know, the lotus flower was like a narcotic or something, or just like a psychedelic type of thing, where he had to be there in order to want to go home. Because after the siren song, he was like, this song made me realize I didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe because of all the horrible things that they did in Troy,
Yeah.
he could not face being in front of Penelope,
Yep.
the man that he was.
Right. That you're cooking. That's like, because yeah, he, you know, was on like this rampage essentially. Like, I'm defying the gods if I have to. It's like, whoa, who the hell do you think you are? But yeah, he has to pass her test. He gets back to Ithaca, and It was. I mean, it was necessary for the story, but it was frustrating me when he couldn't tell people who he was. It was also
Yeah,
frustrating. It
dude.
was also frustrating me how nobody knew his voice.
Especially the blind guy.
Yeah, the blind guy,
He should have
he would have known immediately just hearing the voice because
Yeah.
he is blind. He has to rely,
He
or
notices
maybe he went blind before he left, or
the,
after he left. I don't know.
the dude. He noticed a guy that has like heavy footsteps, or like he wears his keys or something.
Yeah,
He's like
and
he
he's
hears
like, I
you
don't
out.
need eyes to know a horrible
Yeah,
combo or something when he's training.
yeah. He should have known.
Yeah, he would have been like, as soon as he said, "Where are the dogs, old man?" He'd be like, Odysseus.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
is that?
That's what I
Am
was
I fucking
thinking.
crazy right now? Did I just hear Odysseus speaking?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because I thought he knew. Because he just talking to him like he's like, I'm burning their bodies. So I thought you don't just tell that to anybody.
Yeah, he's also supposed to be blind. In every scene, he's looking directly at him, talking to him.
Um,
Like, yeah, he definitely should have known.
oh, dude, he makes it all the way home, and then he has to leave immediately to go save his son, played by Tom Holland, who had a much larger role than I thought he
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna have.
for sure.
He was in the movie like quite a bit more than Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, but I guess it's just part of the story that like he, went out to learn about his dad or something. I don't know. I would have to know more about the fucking original text to really have an opinion, but I did really like his performance. I liked John Bernthal, like helping him the way that he did.
Mm-hmm.
He was creepy though, because he did not seem like,
A good dude.
yeah, he seemed like he enjoyed
Yeah.
these terrifying things that they were doing. And that's why he's like pulling Lupita away from
Telemachus.
Telemachus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know how to pronounce half the words. Because she is against it in more ways than just because of like her daughter being killed. Like hearing about it, she doesn't see them as like righteous men. She sees them as like fucking evil people.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked that, and then the fight in that temple. I think it was a temple.
Where the bandits were there to kill Telemachus.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert Pattinson was evil, dude.
Oh well, he was evil, but he was such a fucking spineless
He's a weasel,
bitch.
yeah.
Yeah. Look at him hiding behind a fucking pole, like grab the shields,
Yeah.
grab the spears, and he's doing nothing.
He's like
Fucking
coordinating
bitch.
with the other suitors, like, yeah, we're gonna do this, but I'm gonna be the
Yeah, it's like, well, you guys are gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hide in the corner
I'm gonna become king.
and shit myself the moment this man shoots the arrow, because I know damn well that's Odysseus. Nobody else can do this fucking shit. I thought it was so funny how he was toying with them. Like he looked like he didn't know what he was doing with the bow at first, and they're all laughing at him, and then he just flips that shit over and he's like, shoo, and just fucking yanks it, and they all shut up. They're like, that is Odysseus. I'm petrified. He was immediately making his way for the door as soon as, or he being Robert Pattinson, as soon as he pulled that shit back. He proceeded to kill like 15 people on his own. It was so fucking crazy.
Okay, all right. So back to people not knowing he was Odysseus.
Yeah.
The blind guy obviously didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Penelope would have. Oh, what's his name? Telemachus. Tom Holland didn't know until like
He saw him
he
go up
said
to the dog.
something. Yeah.
The dog looked like it was on his last legs, and then when he saw Odysseus, he like had his last breath. It seemed like.
But even then, he was like, "Have you met before?"
No, he says, or
Because he goes up to the dog, and we know that the dog only liked Odysseus and the blind guy.
yeah, and Odysseus says something about the cliff, and that's
Well,
when
yeah,
Telemachus
that's when
says,
he figured it out.
he says, "Oh, where you met." So he does know.
Okay, all right. Okay. 'cause I
Before
thought
going
he
in for the
said-
feast, he figures out that it's Odysseus.
I thought he said,
Which, by the way,
"Have you met?"
before we even go further, because we're
We're out of order.
yeah, we didn't finish the temple thing. That fight was crazy because Mentor drinks the thing.
Yeah.
He dies. Tom Holland's or Telemachus.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't drink it. So him and then Odysseus, who's just like ancient at this point, but still just fucks people up. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So they kill all the bandits, and that's what gets them back to Ithaca, because Robert Pattinson, when they walk in the door, just looks so fucking confused. He's fully thought that Telemachus was gonna die. Like, he's not trained in combat the way his father was. He's kind of like weak in comparison. They've all been making fun of him, and then he just walks in the door and he survives, and he just looks petrified.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought the feast was pretty cool prior to Odysseus having the conversation with Penelope, because when he gives him that little stick, he's like shook,
Yeah.
and he's like, "It's not mine."
And he didn't even claim his brother. That's
Yeah,
how
dude.
spineless he was.
Exactly. And like
Okay, folks listening to this, the
all three
stick.
of you.
So they have to they have a lottery to draft his army in
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie, and Edward Pat Edward Pattinson, Robert Pattinson's character,
His name's Edward in Twilight, isn't it?
Robert Pattinson's character draws the stick. They're like drawing straws or whatever, and he gives it to his little brother, who's played by Elliot Page, and they're children at this point, but they look similar to their grown counterparts. So he weasels his way out of war, and then
But wasn't
as an
it
adult, he's telling stories about how he was dying to go fight with Odysseus, but his brother wanted to take his place.
what was the deal with Odysseus saying he needs to stay here and protect the family? Did Odysseus see him as a coward?
I, I'm not sure because I was confused with that part too.
I think that's my guess. I wasn't paying enough attention to know a solid answer. That is my guess. I think he like saw it.
I think either he saw it or maybe he was just like, I'm sorry that it has to be your younger son. Your older son needs to take care of the family.
Oh, I think he does explain why he chose him though. At
Yeah.
some point, we're going to watch it again in IMAX. Like, we are going to do that. I will make sure of it.
He gives him the stick back at the feast. And he doesn't claim his brother. He even Odysseus uses his brother's name as his identity so he can honor him. And his brother starts freaking out. He's like, I don't know who that is. But the dude, his like right hand man, is like, isn't that your brother? He's like, nope, nope, I don't know who that is. So he's just like straight up coward.
Yep. It was like, and he threw the stick back at him. Um, and oh god, dude, his character was so spineless. I didn't really know who he was gonna, what he was gonna be like. And then I saw a quote on Instagram before watching it. Tom Holland was like, "It was great to work with him again, and he's so good at playing a dick." So I was like, "Okay, he's gonna be a jerk." Um, the conversation with Penelope was so awesome. I loved when the one, I don't know what you would call her, like a servant,
The
whatever she
servants.
was. She notices that it's Odysseus, and he's like, and she's like so excited when she sees him, and she's like, "I'm gonna go get more water." But when he's talking with Penelope, did you pick up on the fact that the people at sea that they were referencing the whole time,
Yes.
it was them?
Yeah.
They were the bad people.
Yes.
Because word of what they did spread around, and
Yes.
they were talked about like they were fucking evil.
Yes.
That was
dude.
a great detail. And he was like, "We were the people of the sea."
Yeah.
It was wild when that happened, because my dumbass is sitting there like, "Oh, is this the Roman Empire or some shit?"
I was waiting
like
for,
across the pond, we're talking about a new civilization.
I was waiting for like Atlanteans to show up or something.
Yeah, I was like, when they first said that, I was like, "What the fuck are they referencing?" And then when they said it, I was like, "That's much better than what I was thinking." Probably because it's Christopher Nolan and not Frankie Collins writing this.
Like there's things that tie into, there's like, I don't know, like a prophecy tied in with the people of the sea too. It's like um when they show up, Zeus's law no longer exists.
Yeah,
And then they tie it all together. He's like, when I was in Troy, we offered them peace, but we were inside the gift of peace, and we burned their city to the ground.
they completely deceived them.
Yeah, and
they essentially turned their back on the gods, because like that was not what they stood for.
yeah,
And if they returned home, they would have been bringing like a whole new culture back to Ithaca that would have completely changed it and made it worse. So that was a great little moment. I don't know if anybody will be given a nomination for acting in this, but that doesn't mean that like every single person in this was just doing so well.
This is gonna be Best Picture. This is gonna win Best Picture.
I don't think it'll win Best Picture. I think it'll be nominated. It'll probably win like 5 or 6. I don't see it not winning like sound editing, sound mixing, visual effects.
Mhm.
It has to win those. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the rest of the year looks like.
Okay, let's finish the story. So they have the feast, and then Penelope announces the challenge. And I
Yeah.
was waiting for this the whole time. I was talking to my sister about it last night, and I said, I hope that they put up the axes and he shoots the bow through it. And she was like, "Oh, they kind of do something like that." I was like, "Oh my god, they don't do it. That's like the most important part of the story."
Yep.
And they did it twice.
Mm-hmm.
And
First time he's just aura farming.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And he just picks the fucking thing up, shoots that shit right across the room, and everyone goes nuts. And he just puts his hands up again. He's like, all right, and sits down.
But yeah, he does it, and it was so satisfying.
Yeah.
And then he slaughters the suitors.
Everybody is like, the look on everyone's face is just like, whoa, this guy is not a beggar. this is the literal king of Ithaca. I was really happy to see Telemachus like fucking kill that guy though.
Yeah.
And he used the exact same move that he used on Mentor in the beginning. That I'm also gonna butcher this. I don't know if it's Emes or Emmaus. That was John Leguizamo's character, the blonde guy. He tells him like, open up your stomach, use their attack to like plan your next one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he does exactly the same way. It slits his fucking throat. That was awesome. They really fucked me up because I thought he was dying. I thought he was walking up those steps and he was dying in her arms. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
So
That's how this ends?
It's exactly how I saw it going.
I was like, you cannot be serious. And of course, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's stupid because this is based off of a story. But thankfully, that isn't what actually happened.
Because I thought when he fell over, I was like, oh, this is it. And I thought it would be like he's connecting it to the dog somehow because the dog, they mentioned the dog was 20 years old. He's like, I've never seen a dog live 20 years. He's waiting for his king to return.
Were they throwing puppies off a cliff in the beginning?
Yes, dude.
That was insane.
Yeah.
They were like, this one's got a little funny eye on him. You know, throw him over the fucking cliff. I was like, what
I looked over at you.
You did?
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck? And then the second one they're about to chuck, and he's like, yeah, I'll keep him. Like, what are we doing? Why are we throwing them in the first place?
Did you hear people laughing?
Yeah.
It was insane.
I was like, what are we? We're laughing at this? Was it the people in front of us playing fucking Clash Royale?
I don't know if it was them. It was definitely that row, so it was probably them.
Ugh. But that was hilarious sidetrack by me, but I did just remember that like they were literally just casually killing puppies.
Yeah, I forgot to mention because I wanted to talk about it.
So yeah, that dog was like
you said
150 in human years.
And then Odysseus makes it home. Dog's excited and just dies.
Yep. He gets his little last breath right before.
Oh, and they were kicking him too. That sucked. That broke
yeah, dude. Heart. I was really hoping, but I mean, it fit the way it actually was. Telemachus getting bullied, like because that was where he was at in the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wanted him to just beat the fuck out of those two. But it wouldn't have made sense if he did. It was like I just saw this guy get his ass handed to him by his like combat coach. But yeah, in the end, he leaves Ithaca for I guess just like a fresh start after being a complete demon overseas.
All right, question about that. You think he's dying, but he's like, not death, exile.
Yeah.
So is that Zeus's law? If you kill the suitors in your home, you have to be exiled? Because they brought it up before. They brought it up earlier, but Telemachus was like, or no, Penelope wanted to lock the doors and burn all the suitors.
Yes,
and then Telemachus
was
like,
Zeus's law.
If you do that, then you'll be exiled. So I'm wondering if Odysseus did that on purpose because of Zeus's law to be exiled.
No, I think it was more fit for Telemachus to rule. They had, I don't know. I think it was like they need to honor the people. They need to fix the evil versions of themselves that they were becoming. That's my guess. Again, there could have been an established deeper meaning to this entire story for centuries. So I'm just like guessing right now, but that's the way I would really see it. It's like she's talking about burning people alive. He literally burned down an entire city. So I think it's them, like they're going west, honoring their men, and trying to be different versions of themselves.
Act 3, take 1, action.
I think that's my second favorite movie
Of the year?
No, of all time.
What?
Yeah.
That is a wild.
Yeah, dude. That movie was fantastic. Easily the best movie of the year.
Yeah,
I don't think it's even
for
close.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think anything will touch it until we see Dune.
Yeah, I think Dune is the closest.
Doomsday can't touch that.
No.
Even if I love Doomsday, that can't be put in the same conversation as this movie. This movie was. I don't know how he does it. It doesn't. It is incomprehensible to me to think about his creative process and what he does to like make his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't comprehend millions of feet of film. I can't comprehend that.
Question. Would you rather have this be what it is or have this be like a duology or a trilogy? Because the only reason I'm saying that is because I feel like some of the segments were too short. Like he pulls up to the island and then the giants, they're on that island for 15 minutes. And then the giants come in and just start wrecking shop.
But do they do more?
I don't know. They could do more
because isn't the original thing just a poem? Like there is a book about this, but isn't the original thing just a poem?
Fit all that into a poem.
It's not. Not every scene is fully depicted in the poem. It's just like
that's what the dude was.
It's all to be like interpreted.
That's what Travis Scott had to be.
He wasn't saying the poem.
He was singing like a story though.
Yeah, but I don't think it was the Odyssey poem.
What if it was?
I don't know. It could be.
And they just like cut out all the juicy parts.
He wasn't bad.
He did not need to be there.
I didn't laugh when I saw him on the screen. Yeah. I was fully expecting myself to laugh.
If you didn't know it was Travis Scott, you wouldn't have known.
Yeah. You know what I did laugh at though? The I Play Rocky trailer that happened before the movie. That shit was so fucking funny. Like that guy is trying way too hard to be Sylvester Stallone. This has nothing to do with the Odyssey, but I was genuinely laughing at that, and multiple people in the theater were laughing. Did you notice that?
Do you want to see it though?
No, absolutely not.
I want to see it.
Maybe we'll see it. Fine. I think we go into absolute hits and absolute.
Wait. You want to keep it one movie, or you want to split it up? Because it's an Odyssey. It's supposed to be long.
No,
this was a long movie.
I think it did. I think you're only suggesting that because you weren't too much of a fan of the fragmented storytelling. I really liked it. I didn't at first.
This is my second favorite movie.
Okay.
So
would it be first if it was a linear 3-part thing?
Nothing could be first. Nothing could be first.
The Dark Knight.
No, it's Blade Runner.
Oh right. Wait, 2049.
2049.
Okay. Nothing can beat first. He says that.
Like it just seemed like once we got to Hades, it just seemed like the obstacles were just like boom, 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 boom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The middle was.
I don't have a problem with it. It's just like maybe you could show us something more, but like he showed us pretty much what it is. The book is like that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm happy with what we got.
Yeah. I can't believe Christopher Nolan made like a movie with fantasy elements look as real as he did. It was pretty wild. But yeah, I just like I can't comprehend how he makes the movies that he makes. Millions of feet of film. Where are you putting that?
On trucks.
Yeah. Like what the hell are we talking about? That's just so crazy. And like I really wonder how they did the like scenes with the boats. Like where the hell were they when the water was as choppy as it was? Like were they
when he was on the raft? Were they just on a another boat right next to him.
Yeah, that would be
'Cause
that
the
would be so
camera was
crazy.
at sea level. It
Yeah.
looked like.
And then obviously the shipwreck, the final shipwreck before he gets to Calypso, that had to have been
In a studio.
yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah,
They
with
couldn't
the
have been out
strobe
on the
lights
fucking
and stuff.
ocean during that. But there was the other part where they're like pull, and the water's super rough. I think that they were legitimately out at sea with that fucking boat. Like, that's crazy. How's that? Like, how can people comprehend that? That is so. I would love to be there. I don't have to act. Just let me sit in a chair and just observe. Because, like, how is somebody this good at bringing this shit to life like that? He is remarkable, bro. It is so crazy how he does the shit that he does. Like, I'm trying to think of other scenes, like when they're literally destroying Troy. There's no way, like, they were blowing up buildings. I know it. I'd put money down. Like, they were definitely somewhere in a remote location,
Yeah.
blowing shit up. And it, like,
See, I don't really buy that. Like,
what do you mean?
like it looked. The one building collapses straight down. It looks like a controlled demolition.
Well, I mean, of course it is.
Yeah, but like, how are they doing that?
I don't know.
It's
They
like
blew up a hospital in
these are
Pittsburgh.
like Adobe foundations. You know what I mean? And like, what? How are they blowing shit up? It's the Bronze Age. They even said it's the Bronze Age. I don't know.
I don't. Who gives a shit? How's there a Cyclops? You know,
True.
like, we really gonna talk about controlled explosions
it,
when
it
there's
just looked like
a
controlled
12-foot tall
explosion.
one-eyed thing?
It looked like
making
a plywood
goat cheese?
building with like plaster coated on the outside, and they blew it up.
Yeah,
That's just my issues with practicality.
right.
Hits and misses. What do you love?
I love the cinematography. I felt like I was there, and we weren't even like in an IMAX theater,
Yeah.
which makes me so excited for when we finally do that. Every single person so good at acting. There was not a single awkward performance, anything.
Mhm.
There's also some moments in Nolan movies where the choreography lacks. There's some hilarious memes about the fight scenes in like
In
The
the
Dark Knight
Batman
Rises
movies, yep.
and like Dark Knight. That did not happen in this.
Agreed.
Everything was so fluid. The practical effects were phenomenal. The way that they had a fucking 60-foot puppet of a Cyclops and then through like refining the image in post production made it look as real as it did. I thought it was really standing right next to them, like in all those scenes. I'm gonna I'm gonna say the fragmented storytelling in the end was a hit for me. I don't think that the reveals, the climax, the like we were talking about with them being the people at sea or the sea people, whatever they were, like I don't think those would hit as well as they did if it wasn't like told the way that it was.
The soundtrack was really good.
Dude, yeah, Ludwig Göransson, that guy's fucking insane. He is so good. You know the song Redbone by Childish Gambino?
Yeah.
He made that song.
Really?
Yes. And he made this shit. And he made the soundtrack or the score for Oppenheimer. And he's done it for Black Panther. That man is fantastic.
The song that they played in the Cyclops cave, I thought it was really unique. It was
Yeah.
like a lot of percussion.
I feel like the Cyclops fucking yelling and screaming would have hit different if we were in a theater that wasn't like a fucking shoebox in
Yeah.
comparison to an IMAX place. So like I can't really assess the sound. We will, I guess, see it for or hear it for ourselves when we see it in IMAX. But I can't really speak on the sound. But the lighting was so good. Every scene in that little like I don't even know what you would call it, whatever that area was where they would always eat. That the lighting in there, the
Yeah.
flames,
Yeah,
the
everything
temple
was like
lighting.
candlelit.
Yeah, the temple lighting, the lighting at Sparta. What else? Oh my god, Agamemnon when he's walking through the gate and everyone's charging in around him.
Yeah, talk about aura. He's just
Yeah.
standing there.
Bro, he had 3 minutes of screen time and it was just him walking around
And
looking like
bulls were
Greek
bowing
Batman.
before him, dude.
It was crazy. That armor was so
He was
fucking cool. Don't give a
massive.
shit if it's not historically accurate. I don't,
No,
because
it
it looked
badass.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Bruce Agamemnon Wayne. I guess For a miss, I'm gonna have to put the. I wanted more from the Cyclops scene. I wanted dialogue. I wanted an exchange. It seemed more like just him wandering into a cave that he shouldn't have wandered into, and then it's just like a weirdly prolonged sequence of like figuring out how to get out. I think it would have been better if they actually talked to the Cyclops, since it literally has a name and is supposed to be the son of Poseidon. Honestly, I'll sneak this in the misses. Kinda didn't really feel too compelled by Zendaya. Like, Athena didn't seem to play the role that I thought she was going to,
Mm-hmm.
but it seemed like he saw her only a few times.
Mm-hmm. She didn't really say much. She would just
Yeah,
he'd be like, "Why don't the gods speak plainly?" And she's like, "Why do you think you feel pain? Why do you think you feel sad?"
right. Like, there was, and again, like, don't know too much about the original text or the book, but the the coming to the realization of what he needs to do, I thought that was going to happen more with conversations with Athena than Calypso.
Mm-hmm.
um but those are two minuscule misses for a movie that I loved from start to finish, and um not enough to knock it down from a 5 out of 5. That was a phenomenal piece of art that we watched tonight,
Yeah,
and
it
we
was
will be seeing it in IMAX.
absolute hit. Execution. This book is so thick, and there's so many stories in it, and he packed it all into a what was it, 2 hours and 45 minutes. He was able to add the major events from that book into the movie while also adding his own thing, like the people of the sea. I mean, that might have been in the book, I don't remember, but just like his Odysseus's character development. There was this when he's talking to Penelope at the end, he goes, "When we open those gates, there was 10 years of rage, and it wasn't a fight; it was a hunt, and then they just slaughtered everybody."
Yeah, dude, it was
And
really
like,
creepy how they were like killing women like on screen.
yeah, and he's like the only people he's killing are soldiers, and he's just watching men and women get slaughtered. You see Zendaya. Well, you don't see her get decapitated, but you know she does, and that's why she looks like Athena. I thought that was really cool. But anyways, I like how they tied in like the people of the sea and Zeus's law. Like those all seem like things that Nolan wanted to add to the movie, and like he pulled it off so well. Um, the standout song for me was the song in the cave that we talked about earlier. The cast was so good. Everybody played an important part. They didn't all have that much screen time, but when they were on screen, they were doing major things. Like there was no wasted parts except for maybe a few.
No misses for you?
No, there's misses. The beginning, like first 15 minutes, I didn't like the pacing of it. Yeah, the fragmented storytelling. Like some of the beats were just too short. Like the siren song. I mean, I don't know. I'm like on the fence with this one because it's a short thing. Like it's a siren song. I don't know what more you could do, but I guess just how fast they happened in sequence. So like he goes to hell, and then it's a siren song, and then it's the whirlpool immediately after that, and then he's on the island isolated. Or no, and then I don't know, the sheep are in there at some point too. And then there's giants, and like they just I would have liked to see them spend more time doing these things, but it's already a 3 hour movie.
Right.
And then the fact that he filmed it on IMAX is a miss for me because you are isolating a lot of people from seeing the movie how it should be seen.
That's yeah, but
It will enhance your
it'll still work.
experience,
It'll still hit.
but you might have to drive a few hours to get to your closest IMAX theater,
That's true.
or
But
you
then again,
have to wait a month before you can even see it.
right. But you have to think, if you're at a theater, for instance, if we're at an AMC with a big ass screen and good sound system, it'll be effective. The IMAX is mainly just like the aspect ratio and like what the shot fully covers.
I know, but
If you have a good sound system and a big enough screen, it can work. But you're right, it's not going to fully hit the mark. But I'm not gonna say that's a miss in my opinion.
I don't think it's fair to the viewers, but I mean that's how he wants to film it. So like it's
Is that the first time he's done that?
no, Oppenheimer was filmed on IMAX,
Okay, then yeah,
and I saw that in IMAX.
he definitely did that with Dunkirk and Interstellar. He had to have.
Maybe I know he's used
have to look
IMAX
that up.
cameras before, but then I think recently he just started strictly filming in IMAX. But
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a pretentious thing or not, but like I just don't like that he is isolating people out from seeing it. Think about the small towns who have like one theater
Yeah,
and it's not a good theater.
I saw someone making that. They weren't talking about like accessibility for IMAX movies specifically. I think it was like a subway interview. There's this guy that interviews people on the New York subway, and the mic is like on a Metro card. I think the guy was like, "Yeah, in New York, you have your pick of the litter. Like, you literally can just go to a multitude of different theaters and see shit that you want. But if you're out in like North Dakota, you got like a little AMC that you
Yeah.
can see like the biggest Avengers movie at.
But yeah, that's it really. Those are my misses.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
Top
it's
notch
just
experience.
pristine experience. I cannot wait to see that in IMAX.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes another episode of Post Production. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye bye.
And